Reflecting on my journey through Education 523, equity and inclusion in organizational contexts has been profoundly enlightening. As a highly privileged, affluent, and highly educated white male executive, this course challenged me to confront my biases and broaden my understanding of diversity, equity, and inclusion. While I can examine these reflections through several lenses, including personally, professionally, or through the lens of future research, I will focus on the professional lens. There are three key themes from the class that I want to discuss: Derek Bell's interest convergence principle, the application of critical race theory, CRT, in consumer markets, and Lou's work on unraveling the myth of meritocracy. First, I'd like to focus on Derek Bell's interest convergence principle. Bell posits that Black Americans' interests in achieving racial equality are only addressed when they align with the interests of white Americans. Given my positionality, I never thought about it that way, but it makes sense. This concept is not just about race. It reflects a broader human tendency. It reminds me of the Nash equilibrium, where decisions made by individuals within a group must go beyond individual interests to achieve the best possible outcome for the group. While Brown versus Board of Education is a legal decision rather than a strategic interaction among rational actors, the Nash equilibrium helps explain the dynamics of compliance and resistance in its aftermath. The ruling disrupted an unjust equilibrium and set the stage for a new, more equitable one, though the path involved complex strategic adjustments by various actors in society. In the consulting world, we see the interest convergence principle at work every day, trying to align interests constantly, typically economically rather than through a DEI lens, although the two aren't totally unrelated. Second, I'd like to reflect on how critical race theory, CRT, can be used to understand and address racial disparities in consumer markets, specifically marketing practices, as evidenced by Poole's work on applying CRT in the marketplace. As a marketer and brand manager, I've probably been guilty of overlooking these disparities. Several examples come to mind. In 2018, H&M faced backlash for an advertisement featuring a Black child wearing a hoodie with the slogan "Coolest Monkey in the Jungle." In 2017, Pepsi released an advertisement featuring Kendall Jenner that was criticized for trivializing and co-opting the Black Lives Matter movement. The ad depicted Jenner diffusing a protest by handing a police officer a can of Pepsi, which minimized the seriousness of social justice issues. In 2019, Gucci released a balaclava sweater that resembled blackface, sparking outrage for its insensitivity to racial issues and historical context. As someone who advises consumer companies on marketing, I need to be cognizant of these issues and work to prevent them. Third, I'd like to reflect on Lou's work on unraveling the myth of meritocracy, specifically how I see it play out in my industry. Meritocracy is a pervasive belief that individuals succeed based on their abilities and efforts, disregarding structural inequalities. This belief overlooks the systemic barriers that prevent equal opportunities. In the consulting industry, this is highly prevalent across several areas. Recruitment sources often come from prestigious universities and business schools, perpetuating inequalities as these institutions are less accessible to underrepresented and economically disadvantaged groups. Implicit biases in selection can influence hiring decisions, favoring candidates who fit a certain mold, often based on subjective criteria such as cultural fit, which can disadvantage minority candidates. Biases in performance evaluations can impact promotion decisions, with consultants from underrepresented groups not receiving the same recognition or opportunities for high-visibility projects crucial for advancement. Access to mentors and sponsors is critical. Yet those from marginalized groups might struggle to find mentors who can advocate for them, affecting their career progression. The emphasis on cultural fit can exclude those who don't conform to the dominant culture, which is often shaped by white, male norms in the industry. This lack of diversity hinders the inclusion of diverse perspectives. Finally, the demanding nature of consulting can disproportionately impact those with caregiving responsibilities, often women and individuals from minority backgrounds, affecting their career trajectories. Many other themes emerge for me in the class, and I look forward to considering and leveraging them in both my professional endeavors and academic pursuits, including my dissertation.